Hello students, welcome to online class of science. Today we start chemistry chapter 2 is matter around us pure. Learning objectives. Student will be able to firstly recall the matter and its classification. Secondly, understand the difference between pure substance and mixture. Thirdly, appreciates the property of different type of mixture. Lastly, able to explain the different techniques of separation and use in day-to-day life. Matter. Anything which has mass and occupies space is called matter. It can be solid, liquid or gas. Let us discuss the classification of matter. The matter is classified into two types, that is pure substance and impure substance. Pure substance may be as a substance which contain only one kind of atoms or molecule, whereas impure substance is a substance which contain more than one, or you can say two or more kind of atoms and molecules. It is also known as mixture. So pure substance is further divided into two parts, that is element and compounds. Element is the basic form of a matter that cannot be broken down into simpler substance by a chemical reaction or method, whereas compound is a substance which is made up of two or more elements chemically combined with each other in a fixed ratio. So we can say like hydrogen and oxygen are element, but when they combine chemically they form H2O, which is known as compound. Element is further divided into three parts, that is metal, non-metal and metalloids. Metal are those elements which are hard, malleable and ductile and good conductor of heat and electricity. For example, gold, silver, iron, cobalt. Whereas non-metals are those elements which are soft, brittle and poor conductor of heat and electricity. For example, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. Whereas metalloid is basically are those elements which has the property of metal as well as non-metal. We can say that it is the intermediate between metal and non-metal. We can say that the metalloids are the element which resemble with metal as well as non-metal properties, and these are also known as semiconductors. For example, boron, silicon, germanium. Let us discuss impure substances, that is a mixture which is made up of or formed by two or more kind of atoms and molecules. It is further divided into two parts, that is homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture is the mixture in which all the components are uniformly mixed, whereas heterogeneous mixture is a mixture in which the components are not thoroughly mixed. For example, sugar in water. When we dissolve sugar in water, it will completely mixed, whereas the heterogeneous is an example of sand and common salt. If we mix common salt and sand, we are able to see the boundaries between them. So we can say that in homogeneous mixture, no separation boundaries are visible in sugar and water solution. Whereas in the heterogeneous mixture, we can able to see the boundaries between salt and sand. In homogeneous mixture, it consists of only single phase, whereas in the heterogeneous mixture, it consists of two or more phases. True solution is a homogeneous mixture. The size of the particles are very small, that is less than 10 raised to power minus 9 meter, that is 1 nanometer. Colloidal solution, it appears to be a homogeneous mixture, but it is actually a heterogeneous mixture. The size of the particle ranges from 1 to 1000 nanometer. Whereas suspension is a completely heterogeneous mixture, the particles are larger than 1000 nanometer in diameter. So let us discuss the difference between true solution, colloidal solution, suspension through an activity. Let us prepare a true solution. A true solution is an homogeneous mixture. In a beaker, add 100 ml of water. Then take approximately 10 gram or 1 teaspoon of common salt, that is NaCl, and mix it well with the water. And after mixing, observe that the salt and water are completely mixed and uniformly there is a distribution of salt in water. We cannot separate salt solution through a filter paper, and it also shows a transparent filtrate. So true solutions are transparent, homogeneous and leave no residue on passing through filter paper because the size of the particle is 10 raised to power minus 9 nanometer. Let us prepare a suspension solution. Take a beaker and add approximately 100 ml of water in it. As suspension is an homogeneous mixture, it means that it is a mixture whose composition is not uniformly throughout. So now we are going to add sand in it and mix it well. We will able to see that when we mix this completely sand and water and keep it undisturbed for a while, we will able to see that all the sand particle will deposit at downwards the beaker and the water particles or the water molecules at the top of the level. These sand particles can be easily filtrated by the filter paper and they are opaque. Now let us prepare a colloidal solution. Take a beaker and add water in it. Now in this beaker add slowly milk to make a colloidal solution. Now you will able to see that the colloidal solution appears to be an homogeneous mixture because all the particles of milk are uniformly distributed in it, but it is an heterogeneous mixture. It is a translucent solution in which the solute particles are easily visible with the help of a microscope. The size of the particles are between 1 to 100 nanometer. These particles can easily pass through the filter paper. So let us summarize the difference between true solution, colloidal and suspension. First, the true solution is homogeneous, whereas colloidal and suspension are heterogeneous. Second, the size of the particle in true solution is 1 nanometer, or we can say less than 1 nanometer, whereas in colloidal it is between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, and in suspension the size of the particle is more than 1000 nanometer. True solution and colloidal solution can pass through the filter paper, whereas suspension cannot pass through the filter paper. Let us discuss some important terms related to the solution. Basically, a solution has two main components, that is solvent and solute. Solvent is the substance in which solute dissolve to produce homogeneous mixture, whereas solute is the substance that dissolve in solvent to produce homogeneous mixture. So we can say that when solute dissolve in solvent, they form solution. Let us take an example. Add salt as solute in water as solvent to get a salt solution. Similarly, we can take sugar as a solute and water as a solvent to make sugar solution. There are different types of solutions such as dilute solution, concentrated solution, saturated solution and unsaturated solution. Dilute solution is a solution having small amount of solute in a given solvent, whereas concentrated solution is a solution having large amount of solute in a given solvent. Take a beaker and add water as a solvent in a large amount and add solute, that is salt, in a small amount. Approximately we can take 1 teaspoon of common salt, and when this 1 teaspoon of common salt added into the large amount of water, we will able to see that all the salt is completely mixed in the water, and this solution, in which solute is less and solvent is more, is known as dilute solution. Let's prepare a concentrated solution, a solution having large amount of solute and less amount of solvent. So in a beaker, take small amount of water as a solvent and add solute, that is sugar, in a large amount, approximately 2 to 3 teaspoons. And you are able to see that when we are adding 3 teaspoons of sugar in a small amount of water, it has more of solute and less of solvent in a solution. So we can say that it is a concentrated solution, more amount of solute and less amount of solvent. The other two type of solution is saturated solution and unsaturated solution. Saturated solution is a solution in which no more solute can be dissolved at a particular temperature, whereas unsaturated solution is a solution in which more solute can be dissolved at any temperature. Solubility is a term related to the amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 gram of solvent at a given temperature or a particular temperature. Solubility is directly proportional to the temperature. If the temperature increases, the solubility of a solute in liquid solution increases with the increase in temperature. Let us discuss the separation techniques of a mixture. Let us discuss the separation techniques of a mixture. There are various methods to separate a mixture, such as evaporation, centrifugation, filtration, crystallization, simple distillation, fraction distillation, sublimation, chromatography. So let us discuss one by one each separation technique. The first technique is evaporation. Evaporation is a process of conversion liquid into its vapor state. So we are using evaporation for the type of a mixture, that is solution of solid in a liquid to get a solid. Or we can say that this method is used for separating a volatile component, that is solvent, from the non-volatile component solute by heating the mixture. Let us discuss with one example. That is, we can separate a mixture of salt and water by the process of evaporation. For that, we need a Bunsen burner, a stand, a wire gauge and a china dish. In the dish, we will put a mixture of sand and water, and with the help of a burner, we provide heat. With the help of heat, all the water evaporates and the salt left in the china dish. Similarly, we can separate sugar and water solution as well as a mixture of dye and water. The next separation technique is sublimation. Sublimation is defined as a process in which solid directly converted into vapors. So we use the sublimation technique to separate a mixture of two solids in which one is sublime. To separate a mixture by the technique of sublimation, we require a burner, a mixture of ammonium chloride and salt, china dish, funnel and a cotton. Take a mixture of ammonium chloride and a salt in a china dish and cover it with an inverted funnel and plug its neck with the cotton plug. When we start heating with the help of a burner, the ammonium chloride sublimes and can be cooled and solidified and collected at the top of the neck of the funnel, and the salt, that is common salt, is left behind in the china dish. So in this way we can separate ammonium chloride from the common salt mixture. The another technique used for separation is separating funnel. This is the method in which we can separate a mixture of immiscible liquids. Liquids separate into different layers and depending upon their density. Let us take an example. If we take a mixture of kerosene oil and a water in a separating funnel, it forms separate layers of oil and water. Oil at the top and the water at the bottom as per difference in their density. So we can easily separate water by opening the stopcock, and we can collect the water from the separating funnel. Once all the water will come out, we close the stopcock, and further we use this stopcock to open again when we have to collect the oil. So this process is based on the principle of difference in density of two liquids. Lighter layer forms a upper layer, whereas heavier layer will form the lower layer. The another application of separating funnel is it is used in the extraction of iron from its ore. The lighter slag is removed from the top by this method to leave the molten iron at the bottom in the furnace. Centrifugation is a technique used to separate fine particles of solid present in a solvent. This technique is used because the solid particles in a liquid are sometimes very small and pass through the filter paper. For such particles, the filtration technique cannot be used. Such mixtures are separated by centrifugation technique. The principle is that the denser particles are forced to be at the bottom and the lighter particles stay at the top when spun rapidly. This technique is used in laboratories for blood test or urine test. It is also used in the dairies and home to separate butter from cream, and also used in washing machines to squeeze out water from the wet clothes. Chromatography is a technique of separation of components of a mixture. Chroma in Greek means color. This technique was first used for separation of color, so this name was given. Chromatography is the technique used for separation of those solutes that dissolve in the same solvent. So we can say that chromatography separates the mixture of substance in a solution having different solubility. Let us take a thin strip of a filter paper. Draw a line on it with the pencil, approximately 2 to 3 cm above the lower edge, as shown in the figure. Put a small drop of ink, that means water soluble, of any of your sketch pen or a fountain pen at the center of the line. Let it dry. Lower the filter paper into a jar containing a water so that the drop of ink on the paper is just above the water level, as shown in the figure, and leave it undisturbed. Watch it carefully. The ink that we use has water as the solvent and the dye is soluble in it. As the water rises on the filter paper, it takes long with its dye particles. Usually a dye is a mixture of 2 or more colors. The color component that is more soluble in water rises faster, and in this way the color gets separated. This technique is also used to separate pigments from natural color and the drugs from the blood. Distillation technique is a method used to separate a mixture of miscible liquids by boiling the mixture and cooling and condensing the vapors. Distillation is used to separate a mixture of two miscible liquid having difference in their boiling point, more than 25 degree. Let us take an example of acetone and water. When a mixture of acetone and water is heated in a distillation apparatus, heat the flask. The acetone, which has lower boiling point than the water, the first boils, then cools and condenses and is separated from water. It indicates that the acetone vaporizes, condenses in the condenser and can be collected from the condenser outlet, and the water is left behind in the distillation flask. Fractional distillation is another method used to separate a mixture of two or more miscible liquid whose difference in their boiling point is less than 25 Kelvin. The apparatus used for fractional distillation is similar to the used for simple distillation, except that a fractionating column is fitted between distillation flask and the condenser. This method is used for separating the components of petroleum, separating the different gases from the air. Air is a mixture of gases. The components of air separated by fractional distillation. Air is compressed by increasing the pressure and cooled by decreasing the temperature to get liquid air. The liquid air is then allowed to warm up slowly in the fractional distillation column. Then the different components separated at different heights depending on their different boiling points, such as oxygen boiling point is -183 and percentage by air is 20.9, whereas argon is -186 and the percentage by volume in air is 0.9, and the nitrogen boiling point is -196 and percentage air by volume is 78.1. Crystallization is a technique of separation in which we can obtain a pure solid in the form of crystal from its solution. For example, by crystallization we can obtain pure copper sulfate from its copper sulfate solution. So let us take a 5 gram of copper sulfate and dissolve in minimum amount of water. Filter the solution to remove the impurities. Then evaporate the solution in a china dish to get a saturated solution. Cover the solution with a filter paper and allow it to cool. And so we will able to get a pure copper sulfate crystal. Crystallization technique is better than evaporation technique because some solid decompose or some like sugar may get churned on heating the dryness, whereas some impurities may remain dissolved in the solution even after filtration. On the evaporation, the contamination of solid is there. In this video, we have covered different topics such as classification of matter, type of mixtures, type of solution, and different separation techniques of mixture. Hope this video is quite effective in understanding of the concepts of this chapter. Thank you everyone.